Is that better?
Yes, it's perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Yael. So she's going to introduce you properly now. Go ahead, Rebbitzin.
Okay. Yael, again, thank you very much for coming to speak to us. So meet Yael Gotteher, who is part of our Nishmat circle. Yael has her master's degree in education and was a special education therapist. Currently, she is a business owner and a motivational coach. She teaches the Emunah journey and shares bursts of information on the Emunah Sisterhood WhatsApp group. Yael's mission is to share Hashem's glory through her life experiences.
Okay, thank you so much, Rebbitzin Yagid. Thank you, Naomi, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I'm going to actually find a better spot for myself right here. So first and foremost, thank you so much. I really want to actually give a
Yeah, we're losing you. One second. Yael, you have to move somewhere else because we've lost you.
You've lost
Yael?
me?
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Lost me as in the connection?
Yeah, as in the connection. Yeah.
Is this better?
I just hope it stays.
Okay, I won't move. I will stand still. Okay, so my sixth grader was the one and only girl who was able to pick up her hands and say she knows that Ms. Marla.
No, we keep losing you.
So my topic today is Chai Bahem and be comforted. And it's not the actual way that you would think that I'm going to present today. It's basically a series of life experiences I'd like to share with you. Chai Bahem in the Torah, it instructs us to live according to the mitzvahs of the Torah, not to die by them, but to live by them. In other words, the preciousness of life that we are obligated to transgress the mitzvahs in order to save life. So if someone would, God forbid, be in danger on Shabbos, we would be able to mechal Shabbos to be able to save that person's life. But I want to take it a step deeper, whereas live by the Torah and you really experience life. And I'm going to share that with you through the experiences that Hashem has given me to really learn so much through the experiences of life. Be comforted. What does that even mean? So my middle name is a unique name, and the pasuk associated with that name is Nachamu Nachamu Ami Yomar Elokechem. So I feel it in my gut. Hashem is always saying to me, comfort my people, tell them, comfort them, Hashem says to me. And so that is my goal for today, to comfort you through the experiences that I've had. And salvation is possible. As hard as it may be, salvations are available. The world is in a constant state of abundance, and Hashem only wants to give to us. So with Hashem's help, here I begin. I want to just put out a disclaimer. Whatever I'm sharing with you is not concept. They are real life experiences. They are my experiences. And if I speak in roundabout ways, just know it's only to protect the honor and dignity of the other people involved in the story. The stories are not about me. The goal of my sharing is to really bring out the greatness of Hashem, how absolutely beyond our capacity to understand, Hashem conducts this world with exact precision, exactly what you need, exactly what I need, without missing a beat, quite literally. And the most awesome part, this just blows me away. I was thinking about it all week last week. The most awesome part about it is there are 7.9 billion people in this entire planet. And Hashem cures for each and every individual human being. But not just that. Hashem manages the entire world story, where the entire world is going, all of the political affairs, the minute details, the specific details of every single person's life, not only of people, but every single part of creation, every animal, every ant, every bug, every tree, every leaf, just to show you the magnitude of Hashem's greatness. And the most important piece is that Hashem, as big and great as he is, as infinite as he is, that we can't even begin to comprehend, he wants a very intimate relationship with each and every one of us, an intimate relationship with me, an intimate relationship with you. And so he gives us our life experiences to draw us closer. And we know every single experience and relationship in life is to bring us closer to him, to get to know him, to be able to relate to him in ways that we never thought possible. There's a purpose for everything, and it just blows me away, Baruch Hashem. Okay, I apologize for the minor interruptions. I told you I'm a business owner. So business is with me 24/7, but I've learned to detach. Thank you, Hashem. So with that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I just want to insert a tefillah. Hashem, please put all the right words into my mouth. Let me be an expression of your greatness, your glory, and that everyone should be able to see the truth of your love and kindness and your infinite desire to give to us nonstop. Please bless us to be vessels, to be able to receive all of your love and to shine it outward so that we can experience Geula in our own lives and Mir Hashem bring it to the entire world and experience your revelation through and through. So the first experience I'd like to share, excuse me if it's not in a cohesive manner, but there are lessons behind each and every one of them. So the first one is when I was about 11 or 12 years old. I walked into the house from school and I saw my mother sitting at the table and she was crying. And this was really unusual. I never saw my mother cry and I wasn't quite sure what was going on. And at that moment, I was trying to make sense of what was happening. There was something about maybe we should say he's in the hospital. And it came out that my father was arrested. And it was the turning point of a whole new era in my life. And I feel like I'm being disturbed by the rays of the sun, but I hope it doesn't change the camera view. Okay. In any event, so what ended up happening was we had gone through years of tremendous difficulty, trials and tribulations, the year after year. The intensity was so great. And I remember I was about 16 years old, and I had learned that there's a segula to say Shir Hashirim for 40 days. And things got so tough. I made it my mission. Every day after school, I would come home. I was in high school, and I would say Shir Hashirim. Kriya wasn't my thing. It was really difficult for me, but I persisted. It took me a while, I think about an hour and a half to finish Shir Hashirim every day for 40 days. And guess what? After 40 days, nothing happened. Nothing happened. But I didn't give up. I didn't lose hope. Fast forward 3 years later, I had gotten engaged. And 3 weeks before my wedding, my father was released. And he had the opportunity to join us at my wedding. Now, the beautiful part is that we don't know when Hashem uses our prayers. So when they are going to shine their light and reveal the glory that Hashem wants to bring out. So never, ever, ever give up on your prayers, even if they don't happen, like when we do our segulos and we think that, okay, now it's going to happen. Hashem has Hashem should bless my sister for giving me the opportunity to go before her. Bless her with tremendous achavas hadas, simchas b'chayim, and joy. And my wedding was the wedding to remember because my father had just come home. Everybody from the community came, and I had also married into a Hasidic background. So it was the best of both worlds, quite literally. So thank you, Hashem. May your glory be revealed more and more. But we move on. Even though it was very challenging as a teenager, I had thought that once I'm going to be married, life would be. I thought I've done my fair share of the difficulties, but that's not exactly how life plans out. So before I get into that, I had learned another very, very powerful lesson in my teenage years. I must have been in about 11th grade. I walked into my principal's office. My jaw was hurting. I was in a lot of stress. And she said to me in her Israeli accent, she said, Yael, you know, you're really holding a lot, but I want you to know something. And what she said was extremely powerful. And, you know, we don't realize the power of our words, the power of encouragement, and how much of an effect we can have on other people. She said to me the following. She said, Yael, I want you to know that your father is really a good man. And there's actually a mitzvah in the Torah it's called Pidyon Shuyim, where we're obligated to help prisoners be released. And I was just listening. And she said, you should know that he really does not want to be there. And he really does love you. And if he had a choice, he would do anything in his power to be able to come home. And I said to myself that, you know, then now in retrospect, I see the power that we have as adults to say things to children. In hindsight, now I see it, but at the moment, I didn't quite really give much thought to it. I said, okay, whatever, it is what it is. Life is life. It's difficult. We're going to make it. But interesting to know that today I walk around saying to other children that, you have the best mommy and your mommy loves you. And the truth be told is that when we give children that truth, the truth is that before a child is born, we come into this world. We choose our parents before we come into this world. The neshama says, I choose so-and-so to be my mother, to be my father. This family will be my family. And that in truth is the very best for that neshama. So when we walk around letting children, especially children from divorced homes, children who have a parent who is absent, who is not fully present, letting them know that at this point, if they could do better, they would want to do better. And they're here for you, even though it doesn't seem like they really want to give you the very best. The reason I say it in this way is because the other people who do not get that message, they end up living with resentment and anger and pain and frustration. Throughout their lives, they carry that this parent wasn't present for me. And it ends up being much more of a traumatic experience than it needs to be. So my message for this particular experience is just recognize, as long as we're alive, we have the opportunity to interact with other people. We have the opportunity to interact with children, to make such a lasting impact. We don't realize it, but children are like little computers. They're blank screens. It's click, click, enter. Whatever we put in gets stored into their subconscious mind. So we have a chance to make such a lasting impression and think, hey, your mommy loves you, your tati loves you, and everything that you have is the very best that Hashem could possibly give you. But without even bringing Hashem into the picture at such a young age, which we can, but not everyone is receptive to it. Letting them know that your mommy's trying the best that she can, and they love you, even because you never know if children are really hearing it from their parents, that their parents really love them. So it was such a lasting impression because it repaired my relationship with my father in ways I never even thought. It was like, we don't even realize the extent of what we say and how it could impact other people. So thank you, Hashem, for giving me the opportunity to actually not be traumatized, but to grow and learn from the experience. Thank you, Hashem. It's amazing. I learned from Rabbi Joey Haber that in life, we're so busy. I got to do this, I got to do that, and I got to do such. He taught me to switch the got to get. I get to live. I get to wash the dishes. I get to care for the children. I get to go to work. I get to shop. I get to do laundry that never ends, right? I get to. That's really the way we can walk with the Torah perspective, living with the mitzvos. I get to learn from my experiences. I get to share. I get to be an expression of Hashem's truth. So having said that, as I move on into my life experiences and life journey, it's amazing how the learning never ends. And with every struggle, there's something inside. And more recently, I've learned that people walk around thinking that struggles are just a part of life. But I switched that. It's no longer a struggle. And now I think I understand what Rav Arush says, to thank Hashem for the challenge. It's no longer a struggle in the sense that it's a stepping stone. While the world may view life as hard, difficult, and struggling challenges, to me, it's a stepping stone. What does a stepping stone mean? Think about it. When you have a bunch of, let's say, logs, that's another lesson. That we had a hurricane back here. I think when we moved about 2 or 3 years ago, there was a hurricane here. I have a huge backyard with a bunch of trees. And there was a huge tree that fell over. And we decided when life throws lemons at you, you make lemonade. So what did we do? We took parts of the tree and we actually used it to make like a circular with the stumps. And the children climb on it. And what ends up happening is every time they're climbing on that, they just feel so good. They're so excited. They're happy at where they are. They've done something. They've accomplished. They've stepped up and gone around and around, and it's fun. Life is like stepping stones. We have the opportunity to grow through every challenge. It's a stepping stone. A child smiles when they're at the stepping stone. So when we realize that we have the opportunity to grow and view it from that perspective, we can thank Hashem for it. So to be more specific, the beginning of my marriage was nothing short of very, very complicating and difficult. Without disclosing too much information to protect my husband's honor and to protect the sanctity of the marriage, I'm not going to disclose details. But the important piece was I was at a place of, I don't think I'm going to make it through this. I don't think this is going to work. It's just not going to happen. And the most interesting part was I was mamish living a life of insanity. Insanity is defined as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And the truth of the matter is, things did not change. Once I changed, did the circumstances change? I learned something so huge. You cannot change people. You cannot change anything that's going on. The only thing I have power and control over is myself. How I react, how I respond, how I go about dealing with whatever Hashem puts in front of me. Thank you, Hashem. I cannot thank Hashem enough for taking me out of that space of victimhood, taking me out of the struggles of what I dealt with then. Then it was unbearable. Anybody will tell you that when you wait for a moment to the fear of the unknown, a moment feels like an eternity. It feels like forever. It's just so painful. And that's, my heart would wrench, my stomach would turn completely impossible to live life in that mode. Thank you, Hashem, for the gift of Emunah. Thank you, Hashem, for the gift of believing in us. Hashem believes in us so tremendously. His glory is beyond our comprehension. His love for us is beyond anything that we can possibly grasp. In his kindness, he gives us relationships so that we can experience love and understand just a little bit of how much he loves us. And so it is with that, Hashem has given me the opportunity to grow. And in recent times, actually, the Gotteher never takes a break. So the Gotteher is back and tries to get in the way of my marriage. And my husband looked at me Friday and he said, in absolute amazement, how are you calm? And like, you're in a good mood. Like, how is it even possible? And it took me a minute to realize how, like, it is possible. Salvations are possible. And even when the difficulty is still present, the difficulty hasn't disappeared. Even when the challenge is present, it's no longer a challenge. I feel like that's the message that Rav Arush teaches us, that we say thanks for the challenge because we no longer view it in the same way. The perspective has shifted. Now it's a stepping stone. It's something that I can't say it's a pleasure, but it is a hidden pleasure. I know it sounds very lofty. It's really, really not. It's accessible for everyone because when Hashem, who Elohim, and he's the king, he's the one and only, everything he gives us is an opportunity for us to get closer to him. And the experience of being in a state of calm, even in the moments of a hardship, which is very, very hard. I'm not denying it. I'm not minimizing any difficulty. Trust me. I have stories to tell that could take up a very long time. But I want to bring out the main points of every experience, that Hashem gives us the opportunity to rise. He believes in us so strongly, even though we may not see it. And the way that I've learned, thank you, Hashem, for giving me the clarity. Thank you, Hashem, for teaching me unbelievably to believe in ourselves, to know, like even now, recently, I was contending with, let's think about 4 or 5 stepping stones at the same time. That's a lot, okay? We're talking about chinah. Think that I can do this, and you stand by me day in and day out. I haven't minimized anything, but you believe in me. And that alone is enough to give me the strength to keep going, the prayers to keep going. And believe it or not, we pull through because Hashem is so kind. And once we open up ourselves to see Hashem's glory in it, children are up inside, which usually they're in bed. But Baruch Hashem, thank you for this time and space and the safety to share your glory. So I'd like to move on to another experience that has taught me so much. I really learned so much. I don't even know where to begin. There's so many. Which one should I pick? I'm going to pick an experience that has to do in the business arena. Is everyone able to hear me clearly? Okay, I'm going to keep
You,
going.
you
keep
you're going in and
freezing.
out.
You keep
You're going in
freezing.
and out. Keep going in and out.
So I will move and hopefully this will be better. Am I good? Someone let me know
Yeah,
if
we
this
hear you now, Yael.
good. Okay, so I'll
It's hard
stay.
to know because you keep freezing, like you'll just start talking and then you freeze again.
I'm sorry. Is there any particular part that you missed that you want me to repeat?
The majority of the talk we were able to hear, so don't worry, just keep going.
Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. I really do. So in the area of business, I'm going to just clarify. I used to have a women's gym in Borough Park, and Baruch Hashem, I thank Hashem that actually, as bittersweet as it is, we had to close the gym because of COVID. But now I run a men's facility, same concept.
Yael, you froze again.
We lost you.
You lost me. We need manpower. And so I was relying on my staff to come through. And it's extremely difficult, especially when they give short notice and they just disappear like 24 hours later and you're trying to run a business. Am I in? Are you hearing me?
We
Yeah,
hear you
now.
Yeah. Perhaps keep still, Yael, because as you move, it seems sometimes we lose
Right.
you.
So I'm trying to stay still. I only moved now because you said you weren't hearing me, but now I'm staying where I am.
Okay.
So the interesting part was I was interviewing somebody, and even all of the interview processes is unbelievable hashgacha pratis and miraculous salvations each and every time. I had interviewed somebody, and believe it or not, many times than not, I've hired people without actually being in the studio because Hashem in his infinite wisdom, he's the one who controls everything. When we say it's I, it's me, we actually take away from Hashem's divine assistance. So in this experience, I said, Hashem, I need your help. And I needed this woman to cover for me mamish the next day. And she wasn't answering. Now, if anybody knows that wrenching feeling like, I need to know what I'm doing here, but she was not responding. And I felt like Nachshon ben Aminadab, just to compare the intensity of feelings. You know how like he jumped into by Kriyas Yamsuf, he jumped in. The water didn't split instantly, not at all. And actually, Hashem waited till it reached his neck. That moment when you feel like you really, really can't, Hashem tests us to the point that we really, really, really can't, and you still trust and believe in him. Exactly at that moment is when the Yeshua comes. So the same concept, exactly at that moment, I was like, Hashem, I need you to reveal yourself here. Like, where are you in this story? I need to know what's happening because people are relying on me. I'm relying on you. Hashem, please reveal your miraculous salvation. And in that manner, I've learned that oftentimes than not, when we are so desperate, Hashem holds us tight. He waits. Are you still going to hold on to me as desperate as you are? Do you believe that I will come out and actually bring salvation to your story? And in that moment, just when it's reached our neck and we can't, think of Nachshon ben Aminadab. And that's exactly when Hashem splits the sea. Hashem says, yes, of course, I'm going to deliver to you. I've had that many, many, many times over where it was the point like, I can't do this anymore. Hashem, please. And just at that moment, Hashem brings salvation. Thank you, Kadosh Baruch Hu, for the miraculous salvation. Never ending. It never ends. Let me tell you, when I had to close this women's location, I live here in New Jersey. The location's in Borough Park. I did not step foot into Borough Park to close this gym. Hashem sent all the people necessary to empty the location. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Hashem has all the power that we need, all the support we need is all in his hands. And it's amazing. I didn't step in. We closed successfully, Baruch Hashem. I was able to donate a large chunk of the equipment to other yeshivas. And the most beautiful part, it was when you put your whole self into a business, it's like a part of you. Closing is so difficult. It's like you're cutting off a piece of yourself almost, especially when you're so attached like I was. But the most beautiful part was now, today, the place that I gave up, they actually turned it into a space for children who come from homes where there is struggle with, whether it's divorced homes or children, who have siblings with illness, and it's become a safe haven for them. And I said, Hashem, thank you so much for giving the space such a holy extension that it continues in such a beautiful way. It gives me such pleasure. But it's unbelievable how Hashem he knows what he's doing. He really knows what he's doing. He gives us our life experiences because he knows us better than we know ourselves. to trust in him even when things are difficult, especially in areas of business. It's very hard because we think that we make the parnasa. I want to tell you, I give Hashem all the credit, and I thank him immensely because the emunah that he's giving me, continues to give me, is mamish a free gift. Everything we have in this world is a free gift. But let me tell you, when I first opened this gym, remember, I was a therapist. I worked with children, and my husband had the men's facility, and I was helping him design his third location. We had moved 3 times. The third time, I was helping him with the design process. It was magnificent. And I said, women need this. We need this, not the men, but when we work so hard. And I wanted to implement the spiritual aspect to it. So I made it my mission that we're going to open a women's location. And interestingly enough, that we had never put out an ad to when we had opened. And within the first year, it was such a booming success. I cannot tell you. And I said, Hashem, you showed me, mamish, a free gift. You showed me how when we put our effort into teva, then we're relying on teva. But when we put our effort into emunah and trusting that Hashem can do anything, then Hashem comes through. But we need to put it ingrain it in our being so deeply. Hashem comes through. It's possible. It's so possible. If Hashem put it in this world because it's possible. He gave us our life experiences because it's possible for us to reach closeness to him. Please be comforted by the reality, knowing that Hashem is here watching over you each and every moment. So the success of the gym, I just blew my mind because I remember going to a mentorship. We did a lot of retreats, fitness retreats. And I remember going to one and we were reviewing the numbers and, like he was giving me his whole methodology of marketing, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like blown away. I said, Hashem, I did not do a single thing that any of those teachers and presenters were telling me. I just went with the faith. Now, don't think I didn't do any but the fine line between hishtadlus and emunah became so clear to me. There are 2 forms of hishtadlus that I've learned. The first form is actually putting in the effort, a lot of effort. Some people overdo the hishtadlus. But another aspect of hishtadlus is tefillah. Another aspect of hishtadlus is emunah, investing our effort in that space. It's just as much hishtadlus as putting in the effort. Now, we do hishtadlus because Hashem does not do revealed miracles. We live in a Hester. We would live in a world of concealment. We need a vessel to contain Hashem's miracle. Think about Noah. Hashem could have made Noah survive. Just put him on a bubble. Like that would have been so much cooler, right? Like why would he have to build a teva? He could have just made it in a much bigger miraculous way, right? Everyone would believe that Hashem exists. But that's not how the world is. The world is a place of Hester. We need a container, a vessel, something to hold Hashem's miracle. Even when we take a vitamin or medicine, it's not the medicine that healed us. If you really think into it, the medicine is the container to allow Hashem's miracle to actually take place. It's Hashem who's healing us. The vitamin's not the one that's doing it. It's the container for Hashem to hide himself. He needs a place to mask himself because we live in a world of concealment. So having said that, thank you, Hashem, for your magnificent glory and teaching me this. There's more points. How much time do I have? Let me know. Let me know when I have like 5 minutes and I'll wind down.
Let's say 5 minutes because Basya and Linda still have to, they still have to do their readings. So let's say 5 minutes.
In his infinite, I'm going to touch on another extremely powerful message that I've learned and I want to share with you, the power of your prayers. So I often daven for my children that Hashem should preserve their kedusha. The kedusha meaning in areas of holiness and tznius and such. And without even knowing it, this tefillah was answered without even recognizing that there was a risk for one of my children. Now, I'm always very into working. Partly why I moved away from Borough Park is to actually separate from work. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me the opportunity to do that. And my children almost never stayed home from school. Like, I always made sure they went to school. And for this one kid, I decided that I'm going to homeschool him. It was last year, Shvat, right around Tu B'Shvat, I decided that I'm going to homeschool this kid. And how amazing I had no idea that there were things going on in school that would possibly damage this child. And I cannot tell you how I'm so amazed at Hashem's meticulous glory and his precise brilliance. I homeschooled this child. What happened out of this homeschooling experience is I developed such a relationship with this kid. Before this homeschooling experience, he was one of my kids. Yes, I love him. Did I have a connection? Not really. I couldn't understand. I wasn't infatuated or really loved him. There was something missing in my relationship. After this give and take from this homeschool experience, I love this kid. I can't believe I didn't love him before. And the most beautiful part is now, as he's growing to be a teenager, there are so many we learn when we learn the shofar blast. We had this lesson in our group, the shofar blast, how there's the shivarim and there's the broken pieces, and that's teenagehood. And when we have that perspective in mind, it's so much easier to go through the challenge when children start to discover themselves and form their own identity. So he's in these teenage years. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for the homeschooling experience that Hashem allowed me to develop a relationship with this child, all out of his infinite brilliance and kindness, so that when he comes to this place of teenagehood and the shivarim, the breaking apart and choosing to do things that I would not necessarily approve of, my
Yael, can you move to
Yes,
maybe
yes.
another spot? Because it was breaking up.
which part did you lose me at?
We lost about a minute or so.
Okay, I'm sorry. I really am. Hashem, I trust that you are navigating the technological part of this. So I thank you. And whatever people missed, please allow them to experience the full meaning of your glory, that you come through no matter what, no matter when we put our trust in you. But the bottom line is that now when this child has misbehaviors, or I wouldn't call them misbehaviors, I would actually call them opportunities for learning for him. It's taking the things that we've learned throughout the entire year and living with it. So if a child is starting to, quote, rebel, just recognize that it's the shivarim. And at the end of the story, we will come back to that teruah. We will come back to that realization that Hashem echad u'shmo echad. And it is with that we live our lives, taking all the lessons. The way to really build on our relationship with Hashem is like the story of Megillas Esther. We read it in one sitting, but truth be told, it actually spanned during
Breaking up again.
Yael, can you maybe move to another spot, please?
Stop. Look at your life. Look at your story. Watch Hashem's salvation in each one. And if you have not experienced salvation, turn to him and say, Hashem, I know you got me here. This is a stepping stone. I trust you, as hard as it is. There's the little pamphlet that Rav Arush put out. It's called The Law of Gratitude, which is extremely powerful in allowing us to be able to really be able to thank Hashem through every perceived darkness and every moment of light. I'm going to conclude here, thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for this opportunity. Every time when we sing Hallel, when I sing Hallel, there's the Ma'ashiv where I say, Hashem, I vow to reveal your greatness and to share your glory with the world. So thank you, Hashem, for this opportunity. Thank you, ladies, for the safe space. I want to thank Nomi because I actually joined the group when your heartwarming Nishmas, when was it, over a year ago? So thank you for that. Thank you, every single person who participates in the Nishmas. I want you to know that if you would not be participating, this would not be where it is today. This actually reminds me of something very, very important that I need to share with you. I often look at life like a simcha, the world that Hashem created. Think about it. When someone makes a simcha, the Bala simcha goes out of her way. She buys herself the most gorgeous gown. The whole is gorgeous and stunning. And the ambiance, the lighting, the food, it's absolutely magnificent. The flowers, it's just so enthralling. It's magnificent. Now, what would happen if time of the simcha arrives and nobody shows up? That would be such a pain to the Bala Simcha, such a hurt. How could that possibly be? But then It's almost the same thing of Yachol in this world. Hashem is the Baal Simcha. He wants us to enjoy this world. The ambiance, the lighting, the luminaries, the trees, the flowers, the food, the texture, the taste, everything, all of life. Hashem is in it. He's the Baal Simcha. And how sad it would be if we don't stop to recognize that Hashem, we're here for you. We're here to enjoy your world, to bring joy to you, to live a life where you are the center of our attention, right? Every simcha, the Baal is the center of, you are the center of attention. You are the source of everything. We come to this world to appreciate you, and everything that you give us is a free gift, without a joke. It's a free gift. So with that, Hashem, please bless us to continue living in this gorgeous world, this hall of fame, this beautiful world that you created, where we give you all the attention, where today we affirm right here, right now, Hashem Echad Ushmo Echad, you are the one and only. And may the time come where the entire world can proclaim with absolute steadfast faith that Hashem Echad Ushmo Echad, that you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, are the one and all we want is you in truth, each and every part, and even in the darkness, especially in the darkness, I stand on that stepping stone and I say, Hashem, it's only you. I trust you. I thank you. Life is so delicious, and I live with this passion. It's like, how could I not be excited about life? How could I not be thankful? Look at what you give me, the ability to breathe for free, to see, to hear, to live, experience, and to experience love, so that Hashem, I can understand what it means when everyone says that Hashem loves us. So thank you, Hashem. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and being part of this Nishmas group, because that's us saying, Hashem, you're the Baal Simcha, and we sing Nishmas to you every morning. And the Mizmor L'Soda. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Wishing everyone a week full of success, and may Hashem bless all of our efforts with sweet reveal.